Hello, everyone, and happy Pride. Thank you all so much for joining our June Sip and Pitch Friday. My name is Carly Specht. I use she, her pronouns, and I am manager of external affairs and affiliate relations. So before we get into the rules and guidelines for today's program, I'm excited to introduce our three incredible judges here with us today. We have Lorinda Thomas from ADP, Kimberly Ayers from AARP, and Kate Weaver from Chobani. Thank you all so much for being here and being judges today. Now I'm going to go over some rules and guidelines for the presentations. So first, each company will have 5 minutes to pitch. I'll have a timer up on my screen that will count down during each presentation, and I'll also unmute myself to remind you when you have 30 seconds left. Next, we'll have one presenter from each participating company, and after, judges will have 10 minutes for feedback and Q&A. And if you don't have a PowerPoint presentation, no problem. This program is designed to be informal to provide real-time feedback for your company's pitch. And also just a reminder to please mute your microphone when you're not speaking. And this is a judgment-free zone. This program is designed to help enhance your pitch and grow your business. So of course, all feedback is shared in the spirit of collaboration. And lastly, and most importantly, have fun. Feel free to grab a beverage of choice and enjoy this last Friday of Pride Month. All right, so let's get started. First up, we have Des Stevens from Radiant Health Institute. Des, if you have a presentation you're going to be using, you can go ahead and share your screen now.
I'm first. I'm so excited. Okay, so I thought I'd first share my website. 12 years ago, when I started my company, I didn't know which of these three things would take off. One of them was coach training, which you can see here. People become holistic coaches through me, certified and credentialed through the International Coaching Federation. Ratingcoaches.com if you want to check it out. And the other thing I was thinking was publishing, and the other thing I was thinking about were events. So that's what my federal trademark has: publishing, trainings, and events. But the trainings took off. I started at Vanderbilt University about 12 years ago with a pilot program. I now have 1,100 students in 25 countries in 10 plus languages. So we've gone on quite a wild ride. We do hold accreditations. These are pretty important in the coaching industry with the International Coaching Federation, like I mentioned. We're all three levels, which is pretty rare. We are the only holistic school at level 3, and there are only 47 of those. So we're pretty rare that we hold all three, meaning that someone can ascend through these levels, becoming an associate certified coach, then a professional certified coach, then a master certified coach, which is pretty extensive. It's 2,500 hours of coaching. So you can imagine this is almost like getting an associate's, bachelor's, and master's inside of the coaching industry, which is currently not regulated. I am, as you can see here, business enterprise certified by NGLCC. This is just our basic website with our curriculum patterns and stuff. This is what most people are looking for to get this credential, because then they can get US government contract work, they can work with the UN and all of that. So I also want to show you a timeline that I did. Sorry, these Zoom windows, it's hard to know where to move around here. Go to my Chrome now. Okay, hopefully you can see this. So I just did this for the sake of this pitch, which is just kind of showing what happened over 12 years. We launched at Vanderbilt. Here we are 12 years later with a 5-division rollout that I just did. We earned our accreditations 2 years in. We started doing them internationally the next year. I personally have won awards inside of the coaching industry. I started a nonprofit in 2017 in Honduras in Central America, where I do work with the United Nations there. We started some publications. I've been a speaker internationally in this field. We went to all online after the pandemic during, of course, and I launched some specialty courses 2 years ago, advanced trainings. I hit the 1,000 mark last year, and now we're at 1,100. So all this has kind of led to this. I started as an LLC, Radiant Health Institute. I primarily have been doing the Coaches Academy at the top, but now I just launched retail, which is kind of like collateral for coaches. Also, potentially subscription boxes, licensed locations of cafes, coffee and crystals, kind of a concept. Retreats are on the right. I've done 78 of those internationally over the last decade, very successful. Initiatives include nonprofit and for-profit. For example, Coaches for Corporate Wellness, Coaches for Professional Athletes, working with the UN, working with the US government. I also have a media division, which is a TV show coming out about coaches. I'm also a documentarian. I am an Emmy nominated documentarian about another thing, but I'm also going to do something about coaches. So now I have these 5 divisions. And I looked up some of these numbers just to show you that 38% of our student pool are people of color. That's a very high rate compared to most schools. 96% of our corporate wellness clients are highly satisfied with our work. We are currently in only 13% of countries worldwide, but we would love to open that up more because it's quite a blue ocean right now with coaching, and we are the only holistic level 3 school through the International Coaching Federation. Inside of an industry, by the way, that's about 50 years old and is about 45 years old in the US. So radiantcoaches.com is my business. DesStevens.com is my website for my bio, if you're just curious. So I started 12 years ago and we've had a lot of success.
30 seconds left.
And I honestly don't know what direction I want to go in now. I'm tempted sometimes to sell my company. I'm tempted to just go into media. I'm kind of at this interesting, I didn't know what was going to take off. So now that I've seen what's taken off, I'm not sure if I want to even go in that direction anymore. Because I've been a coach for 20 years and doing anything for 20 years, I'm a little like, what's next? What else can I do? So I sell one training at a time to students. They have a great experience, typically over a year. And that's what I've been doing for the last 12 years as an entrepreneur.
Awesome.
How am I
Thank
doing on my
you so much,
time?
Des. You just went over time. So
Okay,
the
thank
5
you.
minutes. Awesome. Thank you so much. Now let's hear from our judges. Lorinda, do you want to start us off?
Yes, absolutely. Happy Pride Month, everyone. I know we're celebrating the last day. This has been a busy month, June, going to the summer months. So I hope everyone's doing well on this Friday. It's ADP's year end, so I'm happy it's Friday. We're closing out our fiscal calendar year. But Des, thank you so much for presenting and providing some feedback about your corporation or your company and exactly what you do. I love that you gave a little bit of history in the beginning, telling us how long you'd been in business, as well as really honing in on, you did a little training, a little publishing. You looked at doing it, personal events or private events or whatever it may be. And then you kind of found what your niche was in between that and what it was. So it was great to hear that background and how you kind of landed on what you do now and how it works for you. It was also great that you included information about your accreditation because that is important to a lot of businesses as they work with you and find different opportunities that works. And then the timeline was just perfect, showing the start to the finish. I also like that you included the types of different businesses or people you may have worked with, right? Whether you're looking at corporates and wellness. And that's important for me because I think when we meet different suppliers, when we're at events or like you get 2 minutes, what's going to catch my attention is what do you do and how does it benefit ADP, our company, our corporation, right? So for future pitches, always remember that actually definitely provide that feedback based off of your audience because they're going to want to make it relative to who they work with internally as far as their business and stakeholders and who they can get you in front of. So overall, great job. Understanding that you don't know exactly where you want to go in the future. Don't necessarily tell that to who you're pitching to. It's fine for us here today, but you want to be positive in, your overall business, present everything that you do. And then that way they'll be able to decide what they want, to use you for going forward. And they have this positive state as far as assuming that, you can really do that. And that's what you're going to focus on when they get that opportunity to work with you. But thank you. It was great. Hearing your information, seeing your presentation. And like I said, for me, I always look for the relevance of how I can introduce you to someone internally at ADP.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Lorinda. That was great feedback. Kimberly, you want to go next?
Sure. Lorinda said most of it, so mine will be nice and short. I would just kind of echo about while it was helpful to understand the timeline and how you arrived there, I found myself wanting a little bit more, and then I saw the timer and I was like, oh no, and you kind of just got to the point where you were starting to talk about the training and the licensing. So I wish I could have heard a little bit more about that and how that training actually worked. And for us with AARP, we're concerned with the 50 plus, and that really actually could be a great untapped market, right? Of dealing with holistic medicine and meditation and breathing and whatever aspect you have that you could move forward with. So I would probably be interested in it from our lens of AARP Services Inc. That's the side that brings all of our partnerships and our benefits that everyone gets as being a member. So if you were targeting to someone like me, I would want to actually hear more about what your ideas could be in that retail space, in that corporate offering, hear more about you expanding on how you've come about doing webinars during the pandemic, because we are hybrid, but a lot of our seniors are still choosing to take AARP programming online, and your classes would probably be a fantastic fit for that and a reoccurring fit that we could have. But amazing pitch, great job with your business overall, and just super, super proud of you. You did a great job.
Thank you so much.
Kimberly, you had plenty to add. Lorinda didn't take it all. Thank you. Kate, you want to finish this up?
Yes, hello. I agree with my other panelists. It was a great pitch. You definitely have a business that is different than any others I've seen. And, we see a lot of the same type of business in the supplier diversity world. So I had taken an opportunity to look at your website like right before this session started. And I had written down, is her target corporate clients or just trying to get more certified coaches? And then, of course, you talked and you told us your model. So I'm going to be unlike my panelists, and I'm going to give you unsolicited ideas for you. I'm not going to give you, advice necessarily, whatever, but I think that there's a possibility for you to provide package deals to corporate America. So you could go into an HR team and you could say, I want to provide you some coaching and training for your overall, employee pool, mental health, days, and, just do workshops. But also as a package deal, I will certify 2 or 3 of your HR team members as certified coaches. I don't think you could charge them $6,000 because I don't think corporate America would spend that on individuals in their professional development training. But the HR teams do spend money to send, certain people to conferences and develop them, so I think if you could do a package deal, and also as a package deal, I wrote on here, I think HR teams might really want people podcast where they're talking about their company and how great their whole, the culture is. You could be the moderator of it, and you could be interviewing all the VPs of talent acquisition, the chief HR officer, and that's another offshoot of your media, not doing it for yourself. These are $1 million ideas, right? Yeah. So, and then in your spare time, what I would like you to do as your homework, and I think this would really put you on the map, like you have any spare time, would be you need to lobby for regulation in this industry. You need to be the first one lobbying for it. And then once you lobby for it and it gets kind of approved, then it shows that you were the first. And, if you're not the first, then you're the last. So anyway.
Excellent ideas. I've been considering EAP program packages. So thank you for that. Thank you for that very much. Great idea.
You're welcome. Great job.
We still have a couple minutes left for feedback for Des. If anyone else has anything they want to add or any questions for her.
Well, let's go into a little bit further about regulation. What have you seen, and what are the hurdles?
Yeah, there's a professional charter that's already been accepted, not introduced, but accepted through the European Union, meaning that the EU and UK will go first. Then it'll hit Canada, then the US. Chapters, ICF chapters like Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida are preparing for this quicker because it is happening quicker with us. And for example, there are laws on the books that say things like you can't be a naturopath in Tennessee. You can't practice that. You can't recommend herbs unless you're an MD. So that's the state it will probably happen first. It probably will happen through ICF, being a federation working with a local government. We've heard we're going to be either put under the therapy board or the massage therapy board, depending on what they decide. But either way, will be added then to BetterHelp, psychologytoday.com, insurance plans, things like that. We already are being added to insurance plans and serving as EAP programs. And even through ERGs is kind of an interesting angle on this. But we do have a whole corporate wellness initiative. It's not really on that main website. It's separate because that's more for potential students. But yes, to all the things you said, that's very much the direction things are going. And there's a National Board for Health and Wellness Coaching and an International Board for Health and Wellness Coaching that's a little dabbling in this area. But I think the International Coaching Federation is going to be the winner of this war. But yes, I am preparing. I'm an ambassador at a Global Wellness Institute level, all these kind of higher levels, trying to make sure that regulation comes sooner than not. Because honestly, at this point, yoga teachers have more than we do. And if you're a life coach or a wellness coach or a business coach, we're talking to people about very intimate subject matters of their lives. So we absolutely, for the sake of consumers, should protect them and be licensed, in my opinion. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you all for the great feedback. And thanks so much, Des.
Thank you. I can't wait to see the other ones.
Me too. Next up, we have Clea Guillory from NAPBAR. Clea, do you have a presentation you're going to be using?
I do. Let me pull it up now.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for putting this on. This is really, really cool.
I love this program.
Okay. Do I need to do, it's not letting me page forward. Huh. I don't know if it's on my end. Hang on one sec. I just want to make sure my slides work before I get rolling. Let's try it again. All right, there we go.
Awesome.
Okay. All right, Carly, I am ready. Oh, Carly, I can't see you.
I'll
I
spotlight
don't see my
myself.
I don't see my timer. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yo, dope humans, Clea O'Guillory here, certified sleep coach and professional napper. Raise your hand if this has ever been you. The lounge is at capacity, or your flight was delayed, or was canceled due to weather or the pilot shortage. Allow me to introduce you to NAPBAR, the first Black, queer, woman-owned luxury sleep suites in the entire world. Our eco-friendly rest sanctuaries are backed by science and engage all 5 senses. We were awarded a 10-year contract to open our flagship location at Bush Airport in Houston, Texas, slated to open late summer. I like to call out a couple of milestones. We inked an agreement with Lululemon as an authorized retailer at the airport. This means our margins improved and our cost of goods have decreased. And the coolest part is we were approved to customize the gear with NAPBAR logos and customized catchphrases. Also, this past February, we activated at the Grammys. You can tell by John Batiste's smile, all the artists love the virtual reality experience and our better sleep box. Tashina Arnold, aka Pam from Martin, even offered to purchase 2 headsets. Now, our competitor has monopolized the market for 16 years and focuses on efficiency. Data suggests last year they generated $16 million in revenue across 10 locations. NAPBAR's differentiator, we focus on luxury and capturing the heartbeat of the city we are in. Example, Houston, we're paying honor to our World Series champs. NASA, we have a VR communal room. And of course, we must have a Beehive suite to honor Queen Bee herself. Dope, right? Now, I own the licensing and curated the VR software we affectionately refer to as MetaSnooze. Studies show sleep VR therapy has been linked to reducing mental stressors. Travelers and airport employees will be transported to a serene environment all across the globe, listening to words of affirmation and brainwave soundscapes. To date, from Traction standpoint, we have curated over 10,000 rest experiences globally. In addition to the approximate 4.5 million travelers per year, we will partner with travel companies, think Expedia, lounges. You'll be able to book your travel and book your nap. Now, in addition to leveraging geofencing technology, I'll give you an example. If a traveler has previously searched rest or sleep at the airport, when they are close in proximity to the nap bar location, they will receive a push notification. Hey, sleepyhead, it's happy hour. Head to nap bar at gate D1 to rest, recharge, and get $10 off. We are at the intersection of rest to dominate the market. Global wellness economy is at 2 trillion. Global virtual reality, 60 billion. Global airport sleeping pods, $85 million. And nap bar is at the intersection of all three. Our revenue model is a three-pronged approach. Membership, think TSA agents, airport staff, flight attendants, and pilots. Consumer is $1 a minute with a minimum of 60 minutes to book. Our corporate clients will continue with the pop-up model. Our Meta Snooze VR experience rentals to escape reality. And our merchandise, think bamboo pajamas, candles, pillow mist for sale. Now, this is the wildest slide of your lifetime. With all numbers super conservative, in less than 2 years, NAPBAR is forecasted to generate over $1 million and knocking on 40% EBITDA. And all of this is just from the airport space. Insert mind-blown emoji here. Now, the best part is this forecast does not include all of our projected verticals. We will scale everywhere sleepy people are. Think college campuses, corporations. Mark Cuban posted he is building a metroplex and called out including sleep suites. Hospitals with sitting areas so that you can escape that uncomfortable blue chair and waiting for loved ones to get the care that they need. And provide a safe haven for the superheroes, the doctors and nurses to achieve restorative rest. And we are seeking founding corporate partners to sponsor suites at $100,000 on a 5-year return. Kate, NAPBAR can contribute to your social impact and offer a safe place for refugees to rest and snack on that yummy Chobani yogurt while on a layover. Lorinda, imagine a return on investment in marketing dollars and promote the ADP brand to large populations of the C-suite and business travelers. Kimberly, I bet your members would appreciate perks, including complimentary naps in the suite powered by AARP. And the icing on the cake is enhanced employee retention through wellness perks for your employees. This is the dream team to make you sleep. Dr. Mary Stone, head of infection control. And last but not least, we are raising on WeFunder. Go to wefunder.com/NAPBAR or scan the QR code. I'm Kalia Guillory. Thank you for joining this sleep revolution. Thank you.
Wow, look at that timing. I can tell you practiced that.
Just a million times.
Thank you so much. I will turn it over to our judges again. Kimberly, do you want to start us off this time?
Selfishly, personally, I'm like sitting here like, okay, so how do I transfer an airport so I can one of those sleep pods? That's amazing. But you're right. The implications that you have, especially with a company like AARP, right? You have the ability to go into nursing homes. You have the ability to create a virtual experience of quiet and serene for caregivers. And, that's huge. So I see you're continuing to build and think about that. And I would love to talk to you about that more offline, even after this. But the implications for what you are building are just absolutely amazing. I love that you were able to include your projected revenue, showing us the EBITDA, the timetable, and really giving us a very clear understanding as to where you are inside of your niches. This is like absolutely fantastic. And anyone in NGLCC, I think we all need a virtual booth of this. I'm just saying, we all need to try this in Palm Springs, please, because this is absolutely fantastic. And studies have proven time and time again, adults need naps. It's great for our brain, for our, our curiosity. We need that time to recharge. We recharge our phones. Our bodies are much the same way. We also need that recharge. So, this was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that feedback. Kate, do you want to go next?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Great. Great pitch. Obviously, you've done this before. When I work from home, and I just visited the Chobani Soho Manhattan offices, and it was very awesome and very cool. But what I realized is it was so loud and there were no breakout rooms. And I hope my Chobani team members aren't on the call and hearing me diss their offices, but everyone was on their virtual, their Teams calls with their headphones in, but shouting at their screen. They're like, no, I told them we can't do that. We can't make that deadline. No, I mean, the supply chain, and so right and left. And, and I'm a loud talker. And I had 3 calls back to back where I was shouting, of course, at the person, all excited. And then I got off my headphones and I looked at the girl next to me. I said, I'm so sorry, I'm a loud talker. And she said, it's okay. And then she goes, what do you do for Chobani? Because my calls were very random about 3 different suppliers, 3 different subject matters. Anyway, the point of this is, not to ramble, the point of this is that I was thinking about your pop-up model, and I had looked on your website before we had just started. And although I thought it was good, I was thinking about your investment in doing that and how that's probably expensive. And I was thinking about how to fine tune you for corporate America. And again, I come with unsolicited ideas and thoughts. I was wondering if your pop-up model, and correct me if I'm wrong, could it be more of a nap mobile where, it's like a vehicle that you could park outside? Because I know there's no place in the Chobani office to either bring a pop-up inside the building or for you to do a pop-up outside on the street, but a mobile might work. And I was thinking that would be a way to pitch you to larger corporate America. What are your thoughts on that?
Hey, listen, from your lips to the universe ears, we, in our business plan, we have the snooze bus, and it will be an old school bus outfitted for naps that we could just roll up. We just haven't gotten there yet. It's definitely something that we'll do. I would love to further discuss what that will look like. Maybe we can pilot it with Chobani. I think that'd be really cool.
I think you find a snooze bus. It's great. I think you find a corporation that has like multiple locations around the U.S. You get them to co-brand it. I only have 3, but still, I think you have your snooze bus. It's yours that you can go to everything. But for your pilot, you get a company obviously to invest it with their own money and brand it on the side. And anyway, okay, so that's one idea. And then the other thing I wanted to say, I know you know about hospitals. You mentioned it. I had surgery earlier this year. My husband was so uncomfortable in the blue chairs, and I felt bad because I was all doped up on medication. So I got great rest. He did not. There are GPOs, group purchasing organizations, for the hospital systems. And I think the first people you need to get in touch with, right off the top of my head from the supplier diversity world, is Vizient. And I'm sure they'll be at the NGLCC conference. And I think that they would really want to get in touch with you. So I think your hospital model is probably the gold mine, because all the major hospital systems have supplier diversity programs.
What is this? How do you spell Vizient? Thank you for that.
Vizient. And they are a GPO. Yeah. So they do group purchasing, and then they sell their kind of catalog, almost like a Staples online catalog, to hospitals. So you get listed with them and you're in like Flint. So anyway,
perfect.
Best of luck to you. Great pitch. And I will definitely be recommending you to our HR team. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kate. And this is definitely a place where your ideas are very much solicited. So
okay. Can't help it. I can't help myself.
All right, let's go to Lorinda.
Thanks, Carly. And I agree. The one place that we definitely want to see that pop up is at the NGLCC conference in Palm Springs. So hopefully there's room for that. Kate,
let's make it happen, Carly.
What'd you say?
Let's make it happen, Carly.
Yes,
exactly. Too.
Yes. So Kate hit the nail on the head, just thinking about the industry that could probably help you the most, being in that healthcare field, right? So there's a lot of opportunities, and you'll have a a great chance to meet a lot of those corporations and those, you know, hospitals or the organizations, insurance companies at NGLCC that potentially would definitely benefit from something like this. I agree as well. My mother was in the hospital long term, over 8 months, and I remember being in those chairs and being uncomfortable, having my stepfather there as well, who had his own problems with his back. So this would be, in the time of need, something that you could kind of step away, relax, right? And so I love your energy, your passion, your excitement about this. I love the fact that you told us about, you know, the revenue model. When you first started out and you were speaking of the airport specifically, again, I'm like, okay, how could this work for ADP? But as you continued, you talked about the pop-up, or me thinking about the health and wellness that we have here. We have masseuse come in weekly, right? That our associates take advantage of. You know, is there a space that we could have something similar as well? Also, I love the idea of that bus, because we have over 100 locations in the US alone. So thinking about different regions, you could go up northeast, you hit New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, you come further south where I'm in Virginia and go straight down to Georgia, right? Where we have probably 3 or 4 other large locations. So these are all just great opportunities when you think about options when it comes to working with different types of clients. But I think you have a great initiative here. I love, again, how you're so energetic about it. Your team, it was great to see who is actually behind the scenes, helping you make this happen as well. How long have you been working on this, or how long have you been doing this, Khalid? I did want to ask you that.
Yeah, I retired from corporate America. I was a VP of strategy at a Fortune 100 company, retired November 2018, went on sabbatical and hit the ground running January 2019.
Perfect. I love it. And see, that's great too, just hearing that, how you were in corporate America and decided to step out, go into business for yourself. It aligns too with probably some of the things that you did while you were in corporate America, right? That thought process of how you can make things work and different achievements with that. But overall, just wonderful. Another thing I would love to see potentially, you know, if you are meeting with a client, is maybe a demo. I love that idea of like just like some type of pop-up when one of your customers pops up in the airport and they are alerted to where they can go and locate your pop-up location or locate the site where they can take a nap. So, you know, seeing a demo would be helpful too from that perspective. But overall, just a wonderful idea. Again, something definitely that's needed. I know I come into work many days and I feel like I could use a 10 to 15 minute nap. So this is really something, like I said, that aligns with just health and well-being. And a lot of companies, corporations, different industries are really focusing now on their associates and their employees and that well-being. And so we're really wanting to ensure that there's opportunities to bring things like that to our associates, so they feel, again, that incentive that they have the backing of their companies and their corporations, that caring factor, that wellness piece of it. So kudos to you. And I can't wait to see you at NGLCC at the conference.
I have a follow-up question to you, and then another follow-up question, Carly, if we have time. So the demo, can you tell me what so you're saying inside the airport, because we're going to be actually in a storefront in the airport, so it won't be a pop-up. It's our permanent location for 10 years. It's a 10-year contract in the airport.
Right. I thought you said like maybe someone would get a ping to their phone or something if they were a client or a customer.
Yeah, that was our marketing strategy. So when they came through TSA, they'll get a ping through the technology and say, hey, Nap Bar's at D1, gate D1, you know, here's a $10 off coupon. That was a way for us to market to those customers who might not know we're there.
Right. Perfect. So, you know, in that case, I'm assuming there could be an app or something that's needed, right? How would the customers get that ping to their phone? I would think they would have been a previous customer or client, or maybe they signed up somewhere.
No, so there's this technology called geofencing. So the way geofencing works is the way that if you are within a certain proximity of the space, if you have searched rest or sleep at the airport in the past 7 or 10 days, as soon as you get close to Nap Bar, we have the technology where it'll beam out to your phone, it'll push notify you and say, hey, Nap Bar's here, go to D1. It's kind of like if you're ever in the mall and you automatically just start getting like, oh, hey, Macy's is having a sale. That's exactly the technology.
Got it. Oh, perfect. Okay. Thank you for correcting me on that. Wonderful.
Oh, absolutely.
And I have to give one more thought. I used to work for GE Appliances, and our headquarters was in Japan. And obviously napping at work is a big deal in Japan. It's totally allowed. It is like it's just a part of their culture. I think another interesting research or reverse researching would be, look at the big firms in Japan that allow napping, see if they have US subsidiaries.
Yes.
And then that way you could go to the US and talk to them and be like, your colleagues are already doing this in Japan. And I think they would have an easier way of getting it. And then cross-reference and see if they have supplier diversity programs, obviously, and then you know who to talk to. So I'm sorry, I'm giving you too many ideas. You want more leads than ideas.
Okay.
But
Listen, I don't know if you do this on the side, but if you wake up in the middle of the night thinking about NAPAR with some $1 million ideas, just email me.
okay, you got it. You got it.
So
Actually, just put an idea in the chat too, which I'm sure you know about it. You know that March is National Sleep Month, but gotta get that snooze bus. You gotta get that.
We do national napping competitions on National Nap Day, and we curating stuff in October for mental health. I mean, we hit it all.
That's
hit
wonderful.
it all. Thank you
That's
for
wonderful.
that. I actually had a question for all three of you. What would it look like if there was some interest for the actual ask was the corporate sponsorship to sponsor the actual suite, you know, for some of the, from a marketing purposes, for employee retention, for those C-suiters. Any thoughts around that particular part of the pitch?
I think that the marketing teams, in order to sponsor, they would want a list of emails and addresses and names of the people who took part of the nap. They would want, and that's going to be hard to do because you're going to, you know, people don't want to give that out. But I think there's going to be something like that. They want to have their products in the snooze bus. If they've got their, I had put in the chat, it needs to be like NASCAR. A NASCAR car has got all the logos all over the car, right? So if you have the snooze bus with a couple big logos on it, just a couple, you don't need to, it doesn't need to look like a NASCAR car. You know, needs to have their swag or their logos inside the bus.
Well, in the location, this is in the airport. So
let's say, I'm sorry, I was on the snooze bus train. Sorry.
Yeah, I think one of the examples I did in the pitch was, let's say Chobani sponsored the suite. I recently saw that you guys did some work with the refugees. So I said, hey, when they're on layover, they can have a safe space inside of the airport to come and rest and also snack on some yummy Chobani. So, you know, just a way for us to incorporate the brands as well.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the logical thing would be to go to corporations that it's symbiotic. Is there mattress manufacturing? Is it Macy's? Is it Williams-Sonoma? Is it THC CBD companies?
Okay.
I'm thinking about all sort of like natural congruencies. So
yeah, those that kind of align, right, with what you're doing, Kalia. Absolutely. Because for ADP, it'd be a little different because we're not a consumer-based or a product. So, you know, Kate is right and absolutely correct. And we would be looking for opportunities to share information about our company, the products and services that we do sell that align with payroll and benefits, right? Maybe targeting those business owners that are, you know, taking a part or, you know, using the NAP pod, that they're like, you know, I'm traveling all the time. I'm a small business owner. And hey, I took access or I was able to do this, but here's some information about ADP and our products and services as it aligns with payroll and benefits, right? So they're taking something away from a company that is potentially sponsoring you.
Yeah, and that's what I mentioned specifically for you guys, because a large portion of, we're in an international travel terminal. So, you know, C-suites, business travelers, that was the idea, is that, you know, ADP would be able to market to them.
Right.
And then AARP is giving, that's a perk to the members. They'll be able to take a complimentary nap.
So in part to the members, but primarily it would be a target to our caregivers, right? Kate and Lorinda gave very good examples of that. You know, you're in the hospital, you're at an assisted living facility, you know, or you're in home with your mother, your father, whoever it happens to be that you're caring for. Your vehicle, your bus can be that 15-minute respite that person needs to take a minute to recharge, to process things that are going on where they're not making medical phone calls or anything along those lines. And then also, most people don't know about this, but we have, and I'll ping it to you, it's called Wish of a Lifetime. And so that's an affiliate that we recently acquired. And the goal of that is to make sure that people in the caregiving space who have consistently given back get a chance to fulfill a wish that they've always wanted. And so a big part of that is connecting them to be able to travel to different locations that they've never been able to go to before. And we have some people who just have sheer wishes on just, I need a break as a caregiver. Can somebody come in and take care of my dad for the day?
Yes.
Your bus, your product offering, you would be instrumental in working with, I think, our Wish of a Lifetime team and helping those grants and that sort of transition. Maybe even you're the conduit that is, you know, helping someone travel from one place to the next to get to what their wish is asking them to fulfill. They initially step onto your bus and they get that peace, that relaxation, and that enjoyment.
Oh, you just hit on a huge thing. The snooze bus could be like an Uber. You could sleep while you are in transit. That's
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Yes.
Then she has to get CDL. She's got it.
Right,
That's
right.
a whole other.
Not that we're asking you to do a whole lot here,
Right.
No, just upend your whole model. But
It's
oh wow,
all good. It's all good. I really appreciate all the feedback. Thank you all so much. I don't want to eat up all the time. I will definitely get out of the way. I see Des has a question. Carly, I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Des, why don't you go ahead?
I will quickly say this, Khalil, you and I need to talk, but I just took a couple of notes. Kiosks, absolutely, there should be pop-ups. I love this concept of like a couch caravan, like what she was just saying about, you know, traveling to people about napping. A thermometer, like on an app where you measure how many naps you're taking, how good they are. The Huga movement is all about this in Scandinavia, it could come to the US. Definitely having things for people that can't come to your brick and mortars, a podcast about your best nap ever. What was the best nap you ever had? Medicine and all that absolutely needs trademarking, patenting ASAP if it doesn't already, because you can license all that. And you absolutely should certify sleep coaches. And I'm happy to talk to you about that too, because that's my world.
Yeah.
Great presentation, incredible idea. And I can feel how big this is. Amazing.
And that, honestly, that was my last thing. You have so many partners within your own community that you can tap into. Like this, the two of you would be an amazing partnership together.
Des, I am sending you my information right now. Let's talk. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. And judges, if I can just shoot you an email, I maybe send it over to Carly and they can forward it over to you just to recap some of the things that we have here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. Des, you should come back as a judge. Those are great ideas.
Yes.
Awesome.
Coach, of course.
Well, last but certainly not least, we have Kyle Perkins here from Big Frog of Raleigh. Kyle, do you have a presentation you're going to be using?
I do, yes.
Awesome. Go ahead and share.
Alrighty. And get everyone out of the way so I can present and present. Alrighty. Hello, everyone. I am Kyle Perkins, and I'm excited to talk to you about how Big Frog of Raleigh can revolutionize your branding and apparel needs. Imagine this. Your potential customers will never, ever, ever do business with you if they don't even know your name. We understand the challenges businesses face in branding, purchasing with confidence, and communicating their message effectively. That's why we're here to address these concerns. Branded garments like t-shirts make over 5,000 impressions in their lifetime and can boost brand recall by up to 80%, especially with companies they've never heard of. In fact, 53% of people actually use a branded product or a promotional product at least once a week. So step number one, getting your name out there. And guess what? That's what we can do for you. At Big Frog, we offer a comprehensive solution, no minimum orders, transparent upfront pricing, and a state-of-the-art customer experience center where you can touch, feel, and try on your custom apparel. We make it easy to get the branding you need. Our business model is centered around service and flexibility. We specialize in direct-to-garment printing, ensuring quick turnaround as low as one business day, and a wide range of customizable products. Our team offers design assistance, clear communication, and personalized service for every customer, including experience since 2018. We cater to a diverse range of customers, including nonprofits, camps, schools, families, and more. However, we specifically like to target businesses, as they usually make our jobs easier by having their sizes ready, high-quality logos available, understand their color palette and branding guidelines, and have the budget ready to spend. Plus, they constantly place repeat orders for office staff, field workers, and client gifts, providing the best impact to our top-line revenue. In fact, about half of small businesses in the US have less than 5 employees, which means that the other custom apparel companies that require 25 items as a minimum are not a good fit. And by offering a one-stop shop for shirts, polos, jackets, hats, and more, we can be a great solution for just about any size business. Also, North Carolina alone has over 1 million small businesses, which employs over 1.8 million people. So chances are someone you know is an employee of a small business. And in Wake County alone, where we are located, almost 2,500 new businesses started in just the month of May alone, and they help contribute to almost $160 million in small business revenue, which in a nutshell means small business is booming, and small businesses need items for their staff, field workers, and their happy clients. Our marketing strategy encompasses a variety of various tactics tailored to our target markets, from sending out niche postcards to pay-per-click ads, and even hosting and sponsoring community events. We align our marketing efforts with our overall strategy to maximize reach and engagement. While we do focus on local services, we can service anywhere. Compared to major and national and local competitors, we offer low minimums, a one-stop shop experience, flexible timeframes, art assistance, and we also offer the convenience of a fully staffed customer experience center and online stores for fundraising. Plus, as a locally owned and operated business, we add a unique touch to our service. For example, a single shirt costs $32.99. That includes the shirt and a single size full color print plus tax. There are no setup fees, no artwork fees, and we can have it ready in 1 business day or less. While we may not be the lowest price, we are the lowest risk. So like, know, and trust us for making things a must. So hop on by our location or visit us online, because together we can elevate your brand to the next level and make it unforgettable. Thank you for your time today, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you so much, Kyle. That was awesome. And I said this
Thank
in the
you.
chat, but I love your slide deck.
Had it a few times.
Awesome. So we can go into the judges' feedback. Kate, do you want to start us off this time?
Oh, I was hoping you would pick me first. Thank you. Thank you. So great pitch. Yeah, it's very polished. You've done that before. I looked you up before we started, and I specifically looked all 3 of the pictures up today on the NGLCC database. That's always what I do first, and then I go from there. What I found, and I'm sure you know this, but if you don't, there is another big frog, custom t-shirts and more, that is NGLCC certified.
Yeah.
And I think that's very interesting. I run across tons of fast signs and tons of alpha graphics in the NMSDC and the WeBank database, because they're all franchises and you're a franchisee, right? So I want to make sure, though, that when you're at the NGLCC conference or you're at any event, that you make sure that you really hone in on the fact that you're in Raleigh and that, you know, that you're different than that other one. However, the other one is in Buckhead, Atlanta, and perhaps y'all could go together and partner on some big RFPs. I don't know, just a thought. But what I really got out of your pitch and what I thought was really interesting is you talked about that real small, that you could do 1 to 5 shirts and 1 to 10 shirts. That's different. That's different than any of us corporate supplier diversity people would ever hear about. And I think that's your hook. And I think instead of, I mean, I definitely want you to get big corporate contracts, obviously, want the best for you. But I think your hook could be pitching yourself to other NGLCC certified LGBTEs. And you could be like, let me do your, you know, t-shirts, logos, and da-da-da for you. Let me send out your corporate gifts at the end of the year, your Christmas gifts, holiday gifts, and whatnot. So, because I want you to lean into your NGLCC certification, but my mind was spinning thinking, how is he going to cut through the chafe of all the other promotional products companies that are out there? And then when I saw that there was another big frog, I'm like, oh no. So I definitely want you to stand out. And I think you could stand out by almost reverse engineering it and just hitting up all the other certified diverse owned businesses and being like, let me be the guy, you know, for you. Just a thought. But I think you did a great pitch. You obviously know what I'm saying. You obviously like, you're telling me nothing I don't know, lady. But
Well, certainly thank you, and I appreciate the feedback. We actually celebrated our 1 year anniversary of being NGLCC certified last week. And as soon as we had that certification, the franchise said, "Oh, hey, this is something that a lot of other stores should do." And then Buckhead joined, and we have the New York store going to be certified in a couple of months or so, and then about 5 or 6 other stores in the pipeline. So I'm just glad to get the ball rolling. And I certainly agree with you. While the 1 to 5 uh, quantity is something that can differentiate us from other larger screen print companies, we also know that 1 to 2s really don't pay the bills. The larger contracts do, but we still need to be able to service those. And starting with the NGLCC connections and databases and certification by itself is a great start. So certainly, I thank you for that.
I mean, if more than like 5 of y'all franchises get all NGLCC certified, there's something there. Y'all could really compete on some big contracts. You'd have to have a company that had, global location or, national locations, and y'all would have to write up a MOU, be like, we're going to split this evenly regardless of how it pans out geographically, or one of us will be responsible for art setup, one of us will be responsible if it's t-shirts. I mean, you'd have to come out with an understanding, but I think there's something there. Don't y'all, Lorinda and Kimberly?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Certainly, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kate. Lorinda, you want to go next?
Absolutely. So Kyle, great presentation again. Just so you know, and from my title, you can see I also manage sourcing, and I manage a lot of our buyers and analysts in the non-IT space. So I happen to manage promo and swag as well on my team. And currently, all of our 5 approved promo and swag suppliers are diverse. So what I always try to ensure is when we get requests from businesses and stakeholders to bring in new promo and swag suppliers, is asking, one, do we have a provider that can already do that, right? Because we're not just going to add someone to add them. Also, what I have to look at is, again, a smaller business unit coming to me and not needing 500 of something, but needing 5, like you said, right? And a lot of times they will go out and try to source things on their own that, don't go through the procurement process, and that can cause problems. So it is great that you have this model, because we encounter it time after time, because a lot of our larger shops will not print 5 items. I will also tell you that we have a company store, and the thing with the company store was no one had the budget to stock product that may never get purchased, right? Where was it going to be? Who was going to be, the facilitator of it? So we do have a print on demand type store for our company store. Now, the thing that you honed in on and what we get the most feedback on is that price point, because it is, 1 item, but it gives that alternative. So, I think that's something that all print on demand companies have to work on, is that price point, because I know, of course, if I buy, of course, several hundreds of a shirt, it's going to be $10, but of course that's ADP paying for it, versus one of our associates who may want it, and they could see that $25 to $30 price point. And then on top of shipping costs, right? That's where we get the gripe sometimes. And during the pandemic, when we opened up the shop, that's when we really heard it, and it kind of deterred some people. But we've done even things as a corporation like cover the cost of shipping, do coupons, discounts, things like that. So just think about that as far as, introductions that you are making with new companies and corporations. Definitely aligning with Kate's B2B model. This would be fabulous for a lot of the, NGLCC businesses and diverse suppliers who may not need 100 of something, but they have a staff of 10 and they want to outfit them in polos for conferences or events or even outings. So you can definitely build a network with that, but definitely love your idea. It sounds like you only do apparel, right? So you don't maybe do cups or tumblers or any of that stuff. I didn't quite hear that from the picture, if you do or not.
So the short answer is yes, we do. We just focus on the custom apparel, as there, as you mentioned, 1,000 other promo companies, but not all the promo companies do custom garments. So while we can do promos, we focus mainly on the custom garments.
Yeah, and what's also great is your quick turnaround, right? You
Mhm.
don't always see that too. I know sometimes we can place orders and it's the 3 to 4 week lead time, depending on what it is. And, ADP is celebrating our 75th anniversary, and we're kind of doing that now as we're looking to maybe outfit all of our associates with some type of swag. And like you said, that nice little note that goes along with it, something that shows appreciation. So that's
Mhm.
another thing that'll set you aside as well, just doing something like that that's more personalized from your client to their employees. It shows that additional appreciation. So that's also a great and wonderful thing and another way to look at it. But yeah, not having those minimals, the quick turnaround, they are very important to corporations when it comes to getting products out that they need. So again, job well done. Again, Kate, hit the nail on the head with, collaborating with some of the other big frogs and just see what that can do for you, especially in the case when you get those larger opportunities and you might need that collaborative, when it aligns with maybe shipping nationally or be able to hit and target certain markets. But thank you. Great presentation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate the feedback.
Thanks so much, Lorinda. Kimberly?
Really, really great. I loved your presentation, your style and your layout. It was very clear and concise, and I was following you the entire time. I think the only thing new that I could possibly add to what Kate and Lorinda said is highlight your capability of being able to work with that company's brand or style guide. I know that's something that's super important for us because, our A is our A, and it is trademarked. You don't even have to have the rest of the name. Everybody knows when they see the red color, like what that means, right? And so if you have that ability, which it sounds like you guys do, to get that perfect company branding, lead with that along with that quick 1 day turnaround time. The other thing that I was going to say is, I don't know, because I didn't hear you mention it, but do you guys do any like box kitting subscription? Are you able to print a QR code on the inside? I mean, I'm just thinking for like corporations or even I know with AARP and our state offices that we have across, we will do small things or small events. Like our shredding event is really huge every year across the country, and we are constantly getting shirts and t-shirts and mugs and cups and all kinds of things, but we're doing them in these box kit sets, notebooks for seniors, things along those lines. And so if you could pre-package those and have that as an available offering, a QR code that helps to combine that digital aspect for everyone, that would be great. That links out to whatever your end customer needs. And then if it is possible with the other big frogs, maybe you guys can go in together on a shipping contract so that you can help to bring that price down. And again, you guys are all sharing in that, but it helps all of you to be able to offer that additional shipping and handling at a minor price so that you stay more competitive with some of the larger companies.
I will say that idea never crossed my mind. We've had custom boxes made for our own use as far as getting the brand out there.
Yeah.
The idea of sending out coupons and putting QR codes on things is something that we've explored, but never really doing that for customers. So
Yeah,
I appreciate the idea, just kind of thinking literally outside the box.
exactly.
Yeah, Kyle, that's big. I'm sorry,
No,
Kim,
go
but
ahead.
the kitting, right? We send out something to all of our new associates. So they get an email and they can pick between a technology or a wellness kitting box, right? So think about that as an offering, because each associate, when they start ADP, will receive that in the mail prior to their start date. So that's something that you could also promote, and a lot of companies would be interested in that as well.
Yes.
I'll do the research. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for that feedback. All right, we're gonna move on to some closing thoughts. So do any of the judges have any closing thoughts for our presenters? Any additional feedback for anyone individually, or kind of takeaways as a whole?
They each had an element that the other two pitchers could incorporate. I think with the Nat bar, she included financials and projections, and that's hot. I think with Radiant Health, she showed the timeline, and the timeline was really good to see. I think with Big Frog, He showed all the different clients that the grid that had the X's and the checks. That was really good. And I actually, for all of them, and I don't know if they'd want to disclose this. This would be more probably if they were going and seeking investment or something. I don't know if they would want to include it and disclose this kind of information in a forum like this, but it would be interesting to see on all of them, their customer verticals, what percentage it represented of their overall portfolio. Direct to customers is this, corporate is this, hospitality is this, small businesses, nonprofits, That would give a nice bell curve to see. But again, you are in no way required to disclose that information with little us's. But if you go into the bank, or if you're going on Shark Tank, I think they might want to see a little bit of that. That's just my closing thought.
Awesome.
Yeah, they'll definitely ask, right, Kate? On Shark
Yeah.
Tank, I do know that. I agree with everything that Kate said. The only thing I'll really add is, again, when you are pitching, make sure you've done that homework. I'm sure you know this. Who are you presenting to? What information do you know about that company? Figure out, based off of the products and services that you sell, what audience you want to attract, right? A lot of times you're gonna get an opportunity to meet with supplier diversity first, or maybe some of the commodity owners that, are fortunate enough to attend conferences with us, or, come on meetings with us. And so you want to be able to pitch to that opportunity in that company. So just make sure when you have those conversations, and you're going to meet with ADP or Shabana or AARP, you know where you fit in, what market or what area you want to focus on. So that gives you that opportunity. Because I'm always thinking, who can I introduce you to? Who is that business or stakeholder? I've been so impressed many times when suppliers and diverse vendors have come in and they've told me who they, want to get in front of. And that helps me. But if I don't have that information, I'm always thinking one step ahead. After we get off this call, where can I find that opportunity? So just always remember that, keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, share a little bit of your background. What got you to this point? Did you start out in corporate America and decide to open your own business? Or has this always been your aspiration and dream? That really goes a long way, because you have to also remember the stories you tell help us remember who you are. Because I can say, I don't have an opportunity now. Reach out to me in 3 months. Maybe there is an opportunity now. I'm going to want to say, oh, I remember Big Frog. I remember the logo. I remember Kyle's from North Carolina. I'm originally from North Carolina. So there's those connections, right, that help you and assist you with those relationships. But overall, great job. And again, I hope I see you all in August at the conference, or end of July.
Thanks so much, Lorinda. I was going to say that's great feedback, especially going into conference and getting ready for those one-off meetings and matchmaker meetings. Kimberly, any last minute feedback?
The only other thing I can possibly think to say is, don't just limit yourself to us, the supplier diversity professionals. Make sure that you are matchmaking with yourselves, right? The other businesses that are there. If it makes sense, attend another conference that you're not certified in, another partner. Do your homework on the other corporations